What's going on, y'all? So I've seen a lot of people over the last 2 years become very successful with drop shipping, and then I've seen a lot of people go by the wayside and never make a dollar with drop shipping. And I've watched essentially what makes a successful, and then what really hurts those that never make a dollar. And there are clear differences, and I want to share those 3 differences with you today. What's going on, y'all? I'm Braden Wuerch. I'm here to provide insane value to you guys to help grow you personally and financially as well. All right, guys, so through all my students, through friends, through people I've seen over the last 2 years, since I've been in the e-commerce world, I've seen a lot of people become successful with drop shipping, and I've seen many more never make a dollar with it, or not make money with drop shipping. And there's a clear difference why that is. So first off, I want to go ahead and say that there's a reason why I talk a lot about mindset on this channel. I talk mindset, motivation, where your head should be, along with the practical knowledge. Especially way back in the day, I built up a huge category of the really practical knowledge, how to do Facebook ads, Google AdWords, everything like that, and that's all on the channel. And those videos are great, but there's a reason why I do the mindset videos, and that's because especially with the online entrepreneur space and Shopify dropshipping in particular, a lot of people coming into this don't have the right mindset, and it's essentially the main reason why they never make a dollar and never become successful with Shopify dropshipping. And there's 3 factors in particular that I've noticed that the successful do, and essentially what I've done, what my friends that are successful, what my students that they're successful, what they do compared to everybody else who aren't successful, even if they're working really hard at it and they're trying really hard at it. So the biggest factor with all of this is the mindset that you're coming into this with. If you guys don't have the right mindset, and I don't just mean you're motivated to make it work. Obviously, everybody getting into this is motivated to make it work. I'm talking about the right mindset, actually having a business mindset. And frankly, the majority of people getting into Shopify dropshipping don't come at it with a business mindset. They come at it with a get-rich-quick scheme approach, even if they don't think that. Even if they think they're coming at it and treating it like a business, many times they're actually treating it like a get-rich-quick scheme, or just a way that they can make a quick buck or be able to not work in the 9 to 5. The way that you can go ahead and really become successful with this is to actually treat it like a business model. So I want to go ahead and I want to cover the 3 factors today, but before we do, make sure to go ahead and smash that like button for me. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Leave a comment down below. If you guys need help on a certain area, leave a comment down below, and I'd love to go ahead and help you guys out with that. Alright guys, so the first factor that I see that successful people with Shopify dropshipping do, that the people that aren't successful don't, is the planning and research phase. I see a lot of people who aren't successful, they just jump right into it. And I've talked about this before, how I've literally had people come to me, they'll start a Shopify store, and within 2 hours they're coming to me to review their store. That's rushing it, guys. That's not treating it like a business mindset. But even before that, before you even start your Shopify store, there should be quite a bit of planning that goes into it. So first off, you want to go ahead and learn everything there is to know about the business model. You want to learn, what's a good starting budget. Not with all this that we're going to talk about today, guys. I already have videos on the channel covering the specific the specific factors in detail, but we're going to go ahead and cover them. So the number one is budget, and you should know coming into it, what budget do you need to actually start and start with wisdom, and start where you actually have the best foot forward, the best chance of being successful. Don't start with essentially very little money, and then you can't ever get that momentum. Another thing too, I've watched the successful people, and this is something that I really did. Why do customers buy? The successful people actually go in depth on learning why customers actually buy products through the funnels. They'll learn how to, what a good sales funnel looks like, what a good ad looks like, what a good product page looks like. And even more importantly, they'll learn what makes a product sell, what makes a good product, what makes a winning product, why is a winning product a winning product. So you want to do that research beforehand to know, all these factors, so you're not just jumping straight in without any clue on, what makes customers buy. Don't just, think about, if I have the right apps customers are going to buy from my store. That's not how it works. And another factor too in the planning and researching phase is obviously having a good understanding, or at least a decent understanding of whatever marketing platform you're going to start with. So you don't want to come into this blind having no clue how to run Facebook ads or Instagram influencer shout outs or Google AdWords. Even if you've never run them before, you should at least know what kind of entails in the process of doing all of that. You want to know at least the basics so you don't get into it and you have no clue. Now, another option that you guys can do, and I've seen work really well, and essentially this is what I did really back in the day, is I set up the brand and the store and everything, and then I really honed in and learned Facebook ads to a very in-depth extent. So that is definitely a process, but just know that the first factor that I see that successful people do that the others don't is they have a planning and research phase. They don't just jump into it blind. All right, number 2, and this is probably the most popular thing I talk about on this channel regarding e-commerce, is branding. Now, the big reason I talk about branding is because how important it is for actually making sales, having a very powerful back end, having a brand that can really last a long time, not just be up for a few months, because you hear all the time about these drop shipping stores that they might be successful for 2-3 months, but then they die out, and that's because they don't have a brand. So branding is very important, but the big reason I talk about it a lot in the channel is because this is the big thing that I see so many people jumping into and not doing. And this is the big factor that I really see the successful people do that the others don't. I've talked several times about several of my students, especially the ones that have done 6 figures per month in revenue. They have brands set up, and they're very unique brands. And this goes into how you curate the products, curating products in a very unique way, choosing the right niche, your logo design, your name. It goes into the store design. Absolutely everything covers the brand. And I see too many people essentially creating a store and not a brand. And there is a difference. If you create a Shopify store that's just meant to sell products, you guys can make sales, but you're not coming at it with actually having the power of a brand. And this is really key, guys. So make sure you really learn branding, and you know how to actually create a brand that speaks to people. You create a brand story that people want to buy into your brand. They're not just trying to buy just a product. They're actually trying to buy your brand. And this is where I've talked several times too about if you want that long-term growth, that long-term, those long-term sales and everything like that, that's when you'd want to go ahead and get into white labeling and then control the whole process from your own packaging, having your logo on the products, everything like that. But this is a big factor I've seen the successful do, is that they really hone in on brand. All right, number 3, and this is one that I kind of had to look inwardly at myself, see what I've done that really worked, and then I noticed it really working with my successful students and the friends that are successful, and looking around at successful stores. And this is something that I actually learned in the military, and it's talked about so much in the military and beat into us pretty early on. You'll learn this at basic training. That's attention to detail. That's being very attentive to even the micro details, because the micro details do count, guys. You want to go ahead and make sure that you have the right apps. And this can be, not only the right apps as in you want enough apps, but you actually don't want to have too many apps. And, this is where I've talked several times about too many apps can hurt conversion rate. Not having a certain app can hurt conversion rate. Some apps really help conversion rate. And apps that's just one one detail we're really talking about. But it's paying attention to every little detail with your store. Making sure your product descriptions are optimized. Making sure your images are compressed so that your store loads quickly. It doesn't load slow. You don't have blurry images. Paying attention to the micro details actually pays off, guys. And this really does reaffirm the second point of branding, because if you don't have attention to detail, it will hurt your overall brand image. But definitely pay attention to detail. Be systematic with how you go through everything. And being systematic goes back to point number 1 about the planning and research phase. Have a plan actually set together, and be systematic with how you follow that. But the whole point here is, guys, number 3 is paying attention to detail and being very attentive to the micro details because they do count. All right, guys, so I wanted to bring you this video today. This is definitely needed for many of you out there. Many of you out there already know these 3 things. And, you know, many of you need to have this reaffirmed. You might already know this mentally, but, you know, really have this marinate in and really kind of process this. This is something that is definitely not taught in high schools. And many times this is taught through trial and error. So definitely focus on having the right mindset and coming at it from an actual business mindset and not coming at it from just trying to make a quick buck, because that 9 times out of 10, if not more, will never work out. So make sure you treat this as a business and you come at it with the right approach. And, you know, obviously the videos about, you know, how to do product research, how to do Facebook ads, all of those are very, very important. But the mindset and kind of the more broad general aspects of how to actually have a successful Shopify brand, you know, these are very important as well. And I want you guys to kind of let both sink in. Be systematic with how you do everything. All right, guys, if you could, please go ahead and smash that like button for me. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Leave a comment down below, guys, with whatever you need help with. I'm here for you guys to help you guys out, and I'd love to connect with you. Keep grinding, y'all, and I'll see you in the next video.